want people to see me for who I am, not what I am.
What is going on, guys? It is time to talk about the beautiful Blake Belladonna. Yes. And as you guys can see, I've been looking up a lot of stuff, trying to find some stuff. Kind of sucks because, yo, I'm not gonna lie, Blake kind of like gets her butt kicked a lot, so it's kind of hard finding some clips of her doing some butt kicking. I'm pretty sure you guys that really know her probably know more clips than I do. Please share them. I'm getting interested, guys. I'm getting pulled in. I'm getting sucked in to this damn story. Like, there's some really interesting characters. Yo, can I get what is it? I think his name was Sun. He has like he's whirling around like a staff, but has guns at the end of it. Okay, whatever. We're not gonna talk about that. We're here to talk about Blake Belladonna inside of Knights Chronicles. And of course, if you guys don't know, I'm on the Knights Chronicle Content Creator Program and all that good stuff. So I just wanted to let you guys know that, you know, this is really cool from Knights Chronicles combining with these guys at this time, because obviously RWBY, I like to just call it RWBY, but I know it's not RWBY because RWBY is just a character. But they had an event as well, so it's a really big time for news of this game and news of the actual series itself. I did notice that there's also two different animators. There was one that was prominent about a couple years ago, and now there's a new one. Like, guys, I'm learning everything, so feel free to drop all the knowledge on top of me. I will ingest it as best that I can, but I'm going to ingest you or inject you with some knowledge of how this character works in Knights Chronicles. So here we go. First off, I wanted to talk about, it's just show. This is her like standard outfit that she has in the more recent videos that I've seen of her. The swagged out with the jacket, which I personally prefer. I think that this look is pretty cool. She's some type of race, and that's why she actually has the cat ears. It's not like decoration or anything like that. Then you can see as you go and make her level 5, it's a little different, nothing too crazy. And then of course, as she gets on, I didn't find too many clips of her like this when she just has the jacket off. I did find one, but she kind of lost the fight to Adam, but we're not gonna talk about that. I was like, yo girl, why you getting busted up in here? But you know, she probably didn't want to fight the guy based on the history that I was looking at. Anyway, let's go over to the leader skill. We're gonna have Ribbon After Image, increases Dark Allies multi-strike chance by 30%, pretty good. You're gonna see why in a second. So first we're gonna go over to the passive skills. 100% chance to obtain 2 shadows at the start of the wave, which is something that you saw when my intro was playing. Get a maximum of 2, consumes 1 when attacked to nullify damage taken if the caster has a shadow. So as long as she has those 2 shadows, stops 2 instances of damage. Pretty cool. You're gonna have guarantees multi-strike if the caster does not have a shadow. So when you don't have a shadow, you will multi-strike all the time, which is pretty good. But it's more good when we go into the shadow consolidation. 100% chance to obtain 1 shadow upon multi-striking. So obviously, if we go too quick, the combo here is that you have the shadows, you mitigate damage, then they go away. Then on top of that, when you actually don't have them, you multi-strike, then boom, you get it right back. But when you do have the shadows, increases damage dealt by 80% and ignores target's damage decrease, which means damage decrease effects. Like anything that says that this target takes less damage for XYZ reason. This actually would make her really good for stuff like the time space void, because technically when she has a shadow, nothing can decrease her damage, so you can pretty much put her in the time space void on any week. It does not matter, and she should be able to do the work as long as she has a shadow. My immediate suggestion here is that is why she has multi-strike. Obviously, the only time you're guaranteed multi-strike is when she does not have a shadow, but every time that you multi-strike, she will keep getting shadows. And if you keep your shadows up, guess what? You won't take any damage. So the option here is that you want to have multi-strike to keep your shadows up. And when you don't have a shadow, you will multi-strike the next time you get a turn, and then you'll get one anyway. But while you do have shadows, you want to keep them up. As you can see when I was playing some of her clips, then you can't hit her. You won't be able to do damage, and I love damage mitigation in that fashion, ways that you can get damage. She can get stunned, obviously. So hey, you can get defense cross, multi-strike, and you won't have to worry about taking a crazy amount of damage at that time anyway. So really good kit if we're just talking about the passive skills. She's very, very versatile. The reason why I actually picked Blake first is because a lot of people have been asking me about her build, how to build her. I don't know what to do. So that's why I picked her first, if you guys were wondering. Now, active skills, the S1, Shadow Assault, inflicts damage equal to 100% of attack to one target, inflicts additional damage equal to some attack if the caster has a shadow. You can see that this goes up, and then boom, it actually eventually gets ignored defense to 100% of the attack if you have a shadow. actually what I'm going to suggest that you level up first, because she is based on multi-striking, that you want your S1 to do damage. Plus it has the only thing that I can remember that actually has something to do with your shadows. Everything revolves around your S1 and your multi-striking, so yes. Then we have the S2, Shadow Dance. Inflicts damage equal to 120 of the attack to a cone and 70% chance to remove 1 buff. As you level this up, you'll see that it goes up to 2 buffs and then eventually all buffs. You thought I was gonna say 3, but it's all buffs. Sometimes that 1 buff isn't the buff that you necessarily want to take out, and hey, sometimes the 2 buffs is not necessarily what you want to take out. Having the consistency of taking them all, plus the skill cooldown goes by 1, so obviously really good here. But then we got the Blade Rush. Inflicts damage equal to 3 targets, 165 attack to 3 targets, 70% chance to apply weapon corrosion, as we can see here. Decreases damage dealt. Ally and enemy turns are counted towards this effect and cannot stack with damage dealt decrease. So pretty much weapon corrosion makes you do damage. You will do like pretty much no damage. The only problem that I have with her is that it's 3 targets, so you're aiming at one, the person that you really probably want weapon corroded, but the other 2 might be tanks or supports. That's kind of why I'm not big a fan of her version of weapon corrosion. I wish it was a cone. As we level it up here, it does get penetration damage, which is pretty good. The weapon corrosion also goes up to, it actually stays at 6 turns the whole time. But eventually, once you get it up to 6, it's 100% chance to apply the weapon corrosion, which is still pretty good. But I still would say that I'd rather have her remove buffs. I feel like buffs are really big in this game, so being able to remove buffs is better. And like I said, I'm not big of a fan of the weapon corrosion going on random targets. So my thing is S1, S2, S3. That's just how I do it. If you do it differently, let me know. But next thing we're going to be going on to is, of course, the base stats, which is really important how fast this character is. Here we are. We have Blake. This is mine. I'm still leveling up. I'm probably going to give her my automatic 6 purple ticket, just so I can have her up there, because I kind of want her up there, to be completely honest with you. Here are her base stats. Don't worry about the attack. She's not fully 60, so you're not going to see the base it, but I'm going to put it onto the left side. Every SSR attacker have the same base stats. Only difference of what they have is the attack speed. So that's what we're here to look at, and that is going to be 559. That is her base attack speed. So again, she's pretty much in the middle. You have to keep that into consideration about how fast she's going to be going. She doesn't necessarily need to go first, because she does have 2 shadows. She has 2 instances of damage in which you cannot do damage to her, so that's really important to know. She does not evade though, a little bit difference there, so she can be stunned. You don't have to make her terribly fast, so you can focus more on other substats that you might want on this character. Speaking of which, might as well go straight over to the rune section of the video. Here is when we're gonna actually talk about what runes to put on her. Rage obviously is a good option. I mean, every SSR attacker, you have to bring up rage, because everything in this game pretty much scales off attack, and if you have an attacker, they have a higher base attack than any other character. That's why they're attackers, and that's why they're slightly different from hybrids. So of course you can go rage if you don't have anything better, but the rune set that I'm definitely going to have to suggest is going to be continuity. Yes, I'm very aware that she gets free multi-striking when she doesn't have a shadow, but the only time that's going to happen is in the grand scheme of love love and destiny, that pretty much you get hit twice, dodge the damage, essentially, right? You don't take any damage, you don't dodge like evasion, you don't take any damage twice, it's your turn, and then you hit. The only issue that I have with that is that you can just pretty much be keeping your shadows up the entire time. You do more damage. We saw it right here. Remember, on the 60 passive, you do more damage when you have shadows up. So what you want to do is keep those shadows. You want to have access to those shadows so you can do more damage and ignore the target's damage decrease. So if you were to multi-strike, remember, you can only multi-strike once. You're not going to do it multiple times. So if you're relying on this function, the guarantee multi-strike, you're only gonna have one. Then they're gonna swing at you, you're gonna lose it, and then now you're just in La La Land. So you want to have multi-strike in your stats. You want to pretty much be able to multi-strike and keep your shadows up to maximize the damage of your S3 and your S2 and of course your S1, because that is what you are looking to do. You are definitely looking to make sure that you do a buttload of damage, and that is why I would consider this pretty much the coup de grande, or whatever phrase that we're going to use that means yes, you need some continuity. And then of course we have to bring up the rune of multi-striking. 100% chance for the multi-strike to inflict 50% additional damage, and on top of everything else that she has, it's pretty much your go-to. I actually would say that's pretty much the 2 things that you want to run on her, is continuity and Rune of Multi-Strike. Now, obviously, Rune of Multi-Strike, not everyone's going to have a billion of these sitting around. They're trigger runes, so they're harder to obtain. I would even suggest, and I'm probably going to do it myself, is to actually level these and transform them. It's very expensive. I don't suggest that you do that unless you really have a handle of how it works. I have an old video on it. I can't find it, but pretty much you can level these crappy runes, level them up all the way up to plus 15. Oh, it hurts. It's gonna hurt your bank. But then you transform them, and when you transform them, they actually come back with the blue background, which means that they are a proper 6-star rune. So if you have any of these runes, if you want to make them like this, you actually level them up when they're like this, transform them, and then they are a proper 6-star rune. And that's how you do the trigger runes. I'm bringing this in this video because I know a lot of people are new, a lot of people are coming back, and a lot of people probably don't know about that technique, about getting these crappy, like, oh my god, I want to run resolve, but I keep getting these crappy ones. Take these, enhance them all the way up to plus 15. I would suggest rune enhancing on like plus 12 to 15. Pretty much. It's cheaper when they're like this, but I have to mention that to you guys because it will make this unit, or if you have a unit on burst, you have a unit on any of these quirky sets, taunt, that's how you get them, because if you're waiting for them to be 6-star, you're gonna get more of these. So just a heads up, I wanted to tell you that in the rune section of this. Next up is the lovely hero talent. Of course, guys, of course. So here we go. We obviously going with the weapon mastery. We're gonna want to get that all the way up to that 3-star. After that is gonna be the 52. I'm gonna go with, you know, damage dealt in arena, damage dealt in bosses. Currently, as we know, she's really strong in the Cinder Fall, but you don't really need to invest into that. If you're gonna be using her in dungeons, of course, go with this. But I think most people are gonna go with arena because, like I said, it applies more than when just bosses. But if you are having trouble, there are a few light dungeons in the game, and if you want her to pretty much carry you through those, don't be afraid to take this and ride it to the heavens. Plus, remember, with the quality of life change, you can pretty much, without wasting too many resources, switch from this at level 3 to this at level 3. So they did change that. Remember, guys, they did change that, so that's pretty good as well. Next up is going to be the 54. Is going to be defense, this one, or go with this one. Now you can go with the burn. She does have a lot of multi-striking in her kit, and I also suggest that you do it. And if you're going to be running the multi-strike, you will have the shadow, so maybe you don't need the defense. So I'm going to be specifically going for the burn. Plus, burn synergizes with a lot of characters in the game, so I'm going to be going with the burn here, and that's what I would suggest to you as well. Next up is the 56. Is going to be the less damage in arena, less damage in the bosses, and the grudge, which is very important here. And the same thing what I said with Jibanyan is that if you have a character that can mitigate damage or take no damage, this thing will still trigger because they got attacked. It has nothing to do with taking damage. It's written this way on purpose. So with the way that Blake actually works, I would actually take this. It's free damage. You won't take any damage and you'll get free damage in return. So why not do it? Reducing damage in arena and bosses, when you're trying to manipulate and abuse the mechanic of not taking any damage at all, you might as well go for this, in my opinion. 58, critical strike damage or critical strike chance, or penetration. Now this one is very difficult. Now I'm gonna always say you don't go critical strike damage unless the character has critical striking automatic in their kit, and this is gonna be a nightmare when I go over Ruby. Whew, I already know it. But normally we go with critical strike chance to give her the ability to crit, especially if we're gonna crit on, you know, those multi strikes. You're gonna be doing a lot of damage, and you know it's going to be good in the substats, 15%. Then you got to, you know, get it a little bit higher there, and you'll see some more crits out of her. But of course, penetration is going to be one of the things that I like to mention here, because penetration obviously goes through damage immunity and it goes through shields, and there are a lot of that as the game progresses. So it's going to be a personal choice between this and this. I'll probably be going with critical strike chance, but I always regret not having this whenever I'm like, damn man, they just keep going behind shields and I can't hit them. But you know, it's obviously comp dependent. This is comp dependent, and this is always good. So that's why I suggest to go with what is always good. And then of course 60 is a passive, so you're definitely gonna get that, obviously. Oh my god, I noticed it now. So in here it's a bow, and then here it's her actual ears, and then she takes the jacket off. I remember I was watching a clip and it said something like, oh, you think that bow is gonna make a difference? And now I see why, because this is like her hiding the fact that she's like a cat woman thing. I don't know what the technical term of it is. It actually has a technical term. And then she's like, screw it, I'm gonna be myself. And then she's like, screw it, I'm gonna be myself and show skin. All good and well. So of course I'm gonna show you guys the lovely animations here, so you guys can see it all live in effect. Let's see that S1. And it's pretty cool. I'll show it from this angle so you can see that like a shadow kind of comes from behind her when she actually does it. It's really cool. So she's all about the shadow like techniques and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure there's more knowledgeable people on how that actually works, how she's able to do that. I caught a glimpse of it when I was reviewing all these videos to make that intro. So it seems as though, yes, that she has something, ability to like manipulate something. I don't know how she's doing it. Then this, the Neville S2, when she's like doing all these little sparkle effects. Really cool. I'll also throw it in when you see it, when I use it against other targets and things like that nature. Then last but not least, we got the lovely S3. Woo! Clean. Super clean. Love it. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope this gave you guys some insight on how to use Blake. Hope your Blake is godlike. Send me some pictures on my Discord if you want. Show me, flex your Blake on to me and be like, yo, this is the best Blake in the server. Hit up that Discord. I know a lot of people don't know. You can go into my Discord and hit me up and ask me questions and ask other people, other members of the community questions. And it's much easier to get a response there about specific build questions than if you do in my YouTube comments and in on the Reddit. So there it is, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. And every day at the casino is your lucky day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Tell me, Blake, how does it feel to be alone?
I'm not alone.